here. Swish Masters, we ready.
Yeah. So speaking of LeBron, of course he plays for the Lakers right now. The Lakers introduced a new head coach. He had an introductory press conference that went over pretty well. Uh, at some point, like after the conference, he posted a video to fans, to Lakers hopefuls. He made 3 promises: that the team would be competitive, that they'll be together, and that they will hold themselves accountable. Now, I thought this press conference was great. If you're a Laker fan, you should be very encouraged about Darvin Ham and his press conference. I think a lot of you will be wondering, okay, that's not going to change the fact that they have Russell Westbrook on the roster. They talked about that at the conference too. And he said he had several conversations with Russ. And Russ was actually there at the press conference. He said the biggest word that came out of those discussions was sacrifice. This is what Ham said. We're going to sacrifice whatever we got to do. And it's not just Russ. It's going to be sacrifices that LeBron has to make, that AD has to make, on down the line through the rest of our roster. He says we have to start on the defensive end. I'm expecting him to be the same tenacious, high-energy player that he's been his entire career. A lot of it now may happen without the ball in his hand. Most of it may happen on the defensive end. But we have to sacrifice. There's no achieving anything without all parties sharing the load, sacrificing, and depending on one another. So, this is just one little sound bite, or not sound bite because I ain't play sound, but quote from like a whole bunch of quotes that were really, really impressive from Darvin Ham.
Yeah.
He mentioned he was talking about sacrificing and accountability. These are all the things that I definitely think the Lakers need. So I'm excited. I don't know about you. What's your reaction?
Yeah, I like the hire. I like what his message in the press conference and to the guys, to the big stars, right? To sacrifice. It's not the first time I feel like I've heard that when you have the pairing of these type of superstars, LeBron, D-Wade, Bosh, they all have to make sacrifices, whether it's through salary, on the court, understanding their role. And if you want to win a championship, you want to get to that ultimate goal, that's what it takes. And understanding the assignment of what I need to do on the floor in order for my team to be better, not for me to just get mine. You know what I mean? And I don't think any of those guys are like, oh, I got to get mine. I've never thought Russell Westbrook would be that way. LeBron obviously has come out and said he's a pass first guy. Anthony Davis is going to just do what he needs to do. But the fact that Darvin Ham is reinforcing that and giving that message, holding them accountable, and that visibility that we see in the press conference is a great sign. I feel like it's gonna be a grind in the off season for these guys. I mean, they should be right now, and I look forward to seeing how they do. I think they'll be more competitive, and I think they have a lot of respect for Darvin Ham, knowing his background with the Bucks and the Hawks and all these teams, and where he helped take Giannis and all that stuff, man. So I definitely like the hire, and I also like they brought on Darvin Ham's former teammate Rasheed Wallace, who, as we know, was a very physical, great player, man, former All-Star. So I'm excited, man. I can't help but think about some of the memes I saw with Rasheed Wallace, but with Anthony Davis. But we'll see how it goes. I hope they play tough, and if anything, I feel like they'll be good defensively.
Yeah, they're on the right track hiring Sheed, man. I forgot about that. Good point. This also shows you that they really are giving the keys to Darvin Ham to hire whoever he wants. It doesn't seem like Kurt Rambis and them are not having any impact, on that front, which is a good sign, So all signs are pointing up right now, Just to have Russell Westbrook there at the press conference to show the support. I don't think no other players were there except for us. So that's a good sign, at least. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it's gonna work out, and for him to go out and make these promises here, that's pretty bold. I remember another quote on top of my head. He was also talking about being fearless. He has no fear. He was talking about how he was like shot in the face, right? Back from where he was from, and how there's only two ways to respond to that, and how he has been fearless in the response. So he seems like a very good, high character guy. Again, you gotta be excited about the hire, for sure.
Absolutely, man. I think he'll bring a toughness mentality. Well, obviously, him and Rasheed will bring a toughness mentality for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Also, this is a side note. I watched a highlight reel of Darvin Ham. I was like, he was a monster, like athletically. I was like, wow, I didn't even know. I remember seeing him a little bit, but I was like 8 when the Pistons won in 2004. I was like, okay, but I knew his name, but I looked him up. I was like, I encourage everyone, check out Darvin Ham dunk highlight reel. It's crazy.
There was a dunk contest with Kobe.
Was he? He might have been.
I think he was.
He was a monster. Yeah. But I mean, that's his plan is. I think he's gonna do well as a coach too. So I like what he's bringing to the table so far and his message.
Yeah, he was. 1997. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right. Yeah, Darvin Ham, man,
All
right. And the fact that he was able to, he coached Kobe a little bit,
Yep,
and Kobe actually complimented him. That shows so much stock into this hire too,
Yep.
So yeah, you should definitely be encouraged as a Lakers fan.
Definitely a players coach.
Definitely. And you can look at the success of all the other assistants like Ime Udoka, Taylor Jenkins. We just talked about that too. They're having a whole bunch of success. So,
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Good stuff.
I remember we talking about the press conferences that Adam Silver had from the finals. As a result of this hiring, he was talking about how the NBA now has 15 black head coaches, which is awesome. He also brought up other points in